sword at Uncle, and you can do them right away. So, and, you know, there's no right or wrong way of doing this opening, but we've got an even split, and both places have 20 rupees.
Yeah, the main concern is everybody wants to find 3 bombs before they go to Kakariko, or at least 1 bomb, but 3 bombs would be ideal. So the reason people like doing the Uncle Start is because it's just 2 extra checks, 2 extra very quick checks before they head over to Kakariko, plus a tree pull, although Jedders is opting not to do the tree pull.
And if you do, I'm surprised that we haven't seen a map check yet, and if you do the Sanctuary Start, there's a chance you can isolate Uncle for a while, which can be very dangerous. Just giving us a quick 20 tip, though.
P-Train picks up a bomb from killing a Buzz Blob, though. So he's good for a while. He'll be able to get like the first 5 checks, no problem.
And Lumberjack, is that Bombos?
And everybody got 50 plus rupees, so we'll be able to buy bombs at Kakariko if worse comes to worse.
What was on the Lumberjack ledge? I missed that. It looked like it looked like a medallion, right? Oh, just a green potion.
Oh, well, never mind. Maybe it's the only bottle they could get for a long time, and Sakid has the gloves.
Maybe.
It could happen.
We got Jedders making a different sort of route. He's going to go pick up some bombs. Did he check the island there?
Yeah, he did check the island. I think it was nothing. But he'll likely be headed over to Sahasra from here, like I was mentioning before. This is a very meta game kind of play. Like, the reason he's doing this is because very few people will do it.
So we got a glove in Blind's hut. There's a lot going on here. There's some more bombs.
So Death King opts to not buy bombs and heads straight into Blind's hideout, where he finds 3 bombs. This is going to save him a double dip.
I love that play.
As well as
I love
the trip
it.
Down to the shop.
It's so risky because it can cost you a bunch of time, but I love it.
I will say I have never done that on purpose.
Oh, I do it all the time.
Sometimes I forget to buy bombs.
Oh, the silvers were down there as well. Shield behind Sasha's hut and a couple of bombs, so not much there. Nobody's still done a map check. What's going on here?
That's not too impactful right now.
I need the information though.
Right. I'd like to do map checks until I actually care.
Sure. We got flippers there in the back of the bar.
Kind of a frustrating item to get this early in the game.
Yeah,
because you're so strapped for those rupees.
Yeah, especially when you spend 100 rupees on 10 arrows. Thanks, Bottle Merchant. Alright, so Jetter's going to give us a look. I imagine he's going to go to Mini Moldorm Cave next. Lots of 20s so far.
With that early Sahasrahla play, I wouldn't be surprised to see him go to Akina next, which would be another very metagamey kind of route to take. That could definitely be.
Do have some powder.
No, he'll go over to Mini Boulder.
Yeah, trying to find a bottle or the flute or something and make less trips to Kakariko. And Kakariko, pretty empty except for that glove and the flippers.
I mean, those are nice items though, right?
They're nice, but you'd hope for a little bit more with all those chests. Alright, so Library Ledge is the mirror. Ooh, that's good. There's the fire rod, I believe, in the Moldorm Cave along with a heart piece. Another glove. Wow. Now, the mirror on Library Ledge, that's a tricky one. Because you think, oh, there's a unique item on the Library Ledge, so chances are we're going to need that. Not 100% sure, but very likely we're going to need that mirror. So we'll probably get the boots early. But the mirror could be something very late, so there's no guarantee to get the boots early at all.
Yeah, there's even a possibility that it's not required for anything at all, and we never find the boots.
That would be super mean. A bootless, mirrorless seed?
Well, the thing with the mirror is, like, if you don't get it early, I'd rather just never find it.
Sure.
Even if it meant that it was bootsless the whole time.
Alright, so we got just a heart piece in Ice Rod Cave. Death King go into the back of Escape with those gloves. I imagine Jetters checks that as well, since he picked up a pair of gloves in Mini Moldorm Cave.
Yeah, it's very common to immediately go back of Escape as soon as you find one pair of gloves. And we found a sword back there, so not bad.
Not too shabby. So P-Train is actually doing Mini Moldorm Cave before he does the dam, which makes me think he is probably going to go head over to the Agonist Cave.
He may be hoping that he'll be able to pair it later with doing Swamp Palace. Like when you know where like the mirror is really early, like Swamp ends up being like an early play too.
Yeah,
but
I think
you're right. If he ends up having to go to the dam before Dark World access, he probably will do a Gina as well.
So where is that Moon Pearl? I'm thinking the front of Escape.
Nah, it'll be a flipper check.
Yeah, that makes sense. So Jetter's going to make his way over to Kakariko. We've got a heart piece. We saw that earlier from Jetters as well on the Lake Hylia Island there. But we are going to get our first look at what the hobo has for us.
So two of the locations on the front of Escape are logically locked by the small key in Hyrule Castle. So after doing Sanctuary and the 3 in the back, and you still don't have a small key, it makes it less likely that the escape's going to be in logic.
Yeah, that makes sense.
But it could just be in the map chest.
Hobo says, hey my friend, how's it going? Here's a shovel, go dig. I'm not going to tell you what I buried, so you go do it yourself.
Fetch quests are a very frustrating thing to find at any point in the game, but, you know, not nearly as bad right now as it is when you're like one item from Gobo.
Yeah. Alright, so Chloe dips into the Ice Rod Cave, gets their piece of heart, and we'll be making the same water check. You know, it's always frustrating to have to do the water checks and not even be close to Zora money.
Yeah, right now their best way to get rupees are from the 50 rupee cave on the way to Agita, but it's still really slow.
Yeah, super slow.
They would do a Houlihan to go with it though, just to cut off some of the dips, but it's not going to be nearly enough just Houlihan. And
P-Train didn't even check Waterfall Fairy, just stopped at Ice Rod Cave there. Boy wants to see what that shovel's going to give him.
Yeah, in my experience, early fetch quests are way more likely to lead to progression.
Sure.
One place out of like 15 available places is way more likely than 1 out of 200.
Ooh, that is a fancy bow, and we do get a check there. We've got crystals at Hera and Eastern, and it looked like the green pendant in Desert.
So unfortunately, the bow doesn't do anything for us logically right now. The only location the bow locks is Armos Knights, which is also locked by the lamp we're missing.
Yeah, but that's not going to stop these runners, especially with that fire rod. It is a crystal. I find when you get the early bow, it's usually not for Armos Knights. You're not getting it to unlock an item at Armos Knights.
It's usually a pod play. One thing the bow will do, though, is make Front of Escape way simpler. So we might see a dip in there.
Yeah, I mean, some of the runners have the sword, so Front of Escape won't be too bad. right, so Death King gonna give us our first look at Waterfall Fairy here. Oh no, did Chloe actually do that already? Because he's got the Moon Pearl.
I must have.
Okay, so yeah, there's our single 2 unique items in the Waterfall Fairy. Exciting.
Value. So the danger here is that Chloe and Death King both would be orphaning Zora with this play. So they obviously don't need a Zora for Dark World access, but that doesn't mean it doesn't have anything.
Sure. So just bombs on Zora's ledge. P-Train gonna give us a look at Gina's cave.
He does not spend time on the 50 rupee cave, so no extra rupees for him.
Just 3 bombs. So we do have access to the Dark World with the Mitts and the Moon Pearl. So I imagine some of our runners are going to be making their way to the Dark World soon. Though Jetters is going to give us our first look at the front of Escape.
Yeah, P-Train's going to head over to Eastern Palace with that bow.
Yeah, this makes sense. You've got 3 items at Sasha. You've got 3 items at Eastern. It is a crystal. You can clear it all out. And yeah, it makes a lot of sense. Not really going to lose time doing this unless there's, of course, a death.
Yeah, definitely not the easiest dark room to go to the back of Eastern Palace, especially seeing as how he has no magic to actually use the fire at. And the only magic pot in the dungeon is in that dark room.
And no sword to navigate either. That's always a little frustrating, even though it is one of the easier rooms to navigate. All right, so we've got Death King, our first runner in the Dark World, and is taking a look at Skull Woods. We got pendants at Skull Woods and Thieves Town. That's interesting.
It's a very terrifying play for Death King to go immediately to Skull Woods here because the whole place is in logic, but you don't really want to be fighting Mothula with Fighter's Sword and 4 Hearts.
But the seed gave us that fire rod so early. I'm guessing there's something fire rod locked in Skull Woods. That would be my guess.
It wouldn't be surprising at all.
Alright, Zelda Cell, just 3 more bombs. We got Chloe. Ooh, the boots in Skull Woods.
Oh, nice. Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised to see runners, even though they have all of Skull Woods in logic, to put it off for a little bit just to make sure that they're not going to have to fight Mothula early.
Yeah, and Death King says, so long, I'm out of here. I don't even care about the back. I got my boots. I can now get the mirror as well. So Death King making the right call, jumping right into the Dark World here. We get our Ether Medallion in the C-shaped house.
It was only boots though, right? He didn't get the second item?
No, he got those boots and hightailed it out of there. I think the first 2 chests were keys. I don't know if I would have left. I probably would have. I would have looked for that second item, I think.
I wouldn't have gone in at all.
I can't skip Skull Woods anymore, no matter how early it is.
Well, I don't think I would qualify it as skipping Skull Woods. Just putting it off until I'm comfortable fighting Mothula. Just
well, I mean, it's a pendant, so you technically don't need the pendant, right? So you could skip
but
it.
If I go there and I'm full clearing it, and I find out that Mothula in fact does have an item, I'm going to feel very pressured to do a fight that I would not be comfortable with. And in my experience, like, dying is always worse than just doing something later.
Sure. All right, so P-Train using the bow to help him navigate the dark rooms. Gets a little bit lost. Does have to be careful. No other weapon besides the bow. Alright, so he found the knight and is able to kill him and get the key, and just make his way through the rest of the room, avoiding the other Igor there. And it sounds like he'd made it.
Yeah, finally find some magic on his way out.
So Death King choosing to, looks like, try to attempt to full clear Thieves Town, though found a key, so he won't be able to get that item.
Yeah, a little surprising to see him go to the back of Thieves Town. Usually, if you don't have the hammer, like you want to put off to in the back, especially when it's a pendant.
Yeah. That's our first hint, or second hint. Tower of Hera big key needs fire. Tower of Hera.
Yeah, not too impactful. Everybody already having that fire rod.
Yeah, it's not bad when it's the big key, because everyone has to do it.
I would have thought Death King would have saved and quit after getting the boots and Skullwoods.
That's what I thought too. Yeah, I thought I would have finished Skullwoods and then saved and quit and grabbed the mirror, and then that makes all of this routing a bit more complete.
Yeah, with the mirror, he'd be able to do like the Booch Text Graveyard Ledge, Cave 45. The Smith sequence would be way easier.
So Petra and Chloe pick up their first crystals. Eastern, rather empty.
Yeah, both of these runners trying to put off those flipper checks until they have enough rupees, but looks like they're going to get forced into it.
Well, Chloe did do the flipper checks, but I think they skipped a glove somewhere. Because their tracker only has one glove marked. Okay, so Dements of our trackers mentioning they skipped Blind's hut.
Oh. But he's been to Kakariko? Weird. It's weird. It's a little weird.
Yeah, just a mistake, probably. Not doing anything on purpose. Alright, so Death King picks up the maiden. Take her back. Meanwhile, Jetters enters the Dark World, does not go up to Skullwoods, in fact chooses to do Village of Outcasts instead, so be missing out on those boots for a while.
Yeah, I have to think he's just doing like I said, just trying not to put himself in a position where he'd be fighting Mothula this early. I'm sure if he knew the boots were there, he wouldn't care as much.
Sure. Especially since they weren't even fire rod locked. Just first chest right there, and
Death King taking a death on Blind there.
Yeah, that one's rough. And just noping out. That was quite the time sink, not to get any good progression there as well.
On a positive note, though, when he does come back, if he does come back, Blind will be in the boss room. He won't have to get the maiden again. Although I imagine the next time he comes back, he'll have a hammer. And
right.
Get back there anyway.
Exactly. All right, so we're gonna take it's short a rupee for dig game.
He's about to find that out though.
Yeah, you can just jump into the arrow game and grab a couple rupees there if you're familiar with how to do that. It does have the shovel; it could just dig up a rupee here.
We're digging. We give up on digging.
Chloe's gonna farm up Zora money here very slowly.
Yeah, I think you're right. He did not mean to skip those gloves and blindside out.
Old Stumpy, another 20 rupee tip there.
Okay, Death King has the rupees for the game now.
Oh man, this is I feel really bad for Chloe just because, skipping that one item and now all the time sink into having to farm these rupees.
Yeah, this can happen to the best of runners. Just you skip a location, but you don't realize it.
Probably gonna hula hand the last half of the money they need there. And actually, it looks what P-Train is doing as well. P-Train trying to get Zora money before making those last of those flipper checks. All right, and Death King can give us our first look at Hype Cave. What do we got here? We start off with just a piece of heart, followed up with a 20. Our first bottle. There's some money and a 20. Koi, what would you rate that pretty terrible Hype Cave?
0. It's definitely
zero.
No
Was
progression. It's 0.
All right, P-Train also farming up that money. Really does not want to leave Zora behind.
Looks like Death King's gonna head over to East Dark World with his flip race. Probably just for Pyramid and Catfish, but Pod is an option.
Yeah, I mean, it'd be a rough check to make though. Does have a bottle, but no potion in it.
He's going to Pod.
I cannot predict anything, my friend.
I mean, like honestly, this play just doesn't make it doesn't make the most sense for Death King right now, but it's still an option, and as long as it's not bow locked, he's going to be fine. Be able to get lots of checks.
Yeah, unfortunately for him, didn't dig up that bow yet. Alright, so P-Train finally going to be able to pick up his Moon Pearl here. And Chloe going to give us our first look at Zora, which, could have some sort of progression, but not the progression that Chloe's looking for. It would be really interesting if the hammer was here.
It's so unusual to see Death King going into Palace of Darkness when he could go grab the mirror.
And it is bow locked.
Jinx.
I got you next time. All right, so Chloe, saving and quitting, trying to remember where to go from here. I don't think P-Train is going to be very happy having to farm, used all that time to farm up all of that money to get this fiver, and that Moon Pearl was just sitting there the whole time as well. So
he's got peace of mind though. He won't have to check that later. The Smith's giving out the flute today. Looks like Death King is headed over for his mirror.
Jetter with some menu issues, but able to find his flute and activating it now. I imagine we see a minor area check.
So it looks like Chloe wanted to sequence break up Death Mountain, but then realized, no, that doesn't make any sense. There has to be something in logic.
Death King with our first bottle, gonna make a trip to Sick Kid. What do we got here? Heart container. Jetters does make his way over to the Mire area. Will give us some information on what medallion we need. We got a couple of checks. Unfortunately, doesn't have the mirror yet. No boots. I don't think he got close enough to see what medallion that was.
No, the murder dactyl was giving him too much trouble.
Got ourselves a lamp, though.
not bad.
P-Train opting to skip Skullwoods as well, and Chloe remembering, hey, I didn't do the back of blindside, or didn't do blindside, gets their glove, so not too far behind. And it looks like it was Ether from Meyer.
Yeah, Chloe definitely lost some time, but it's not like an insurmountable amount of time. Less than like Janice Tower big key routing.
Yeah. So Death King gonna pick up their flute here. Chloe heading up to Skullwoods will be rewarded with those boots that Jetters and P-Train are missing out on. And Jetters, it's going to be a while till they get their boots because they're up on the mountain, and with well, still no mirror, so it's actually not a lot of checks here. We did get that powder pretty early, and I think this is our first check of powder.
Rip P-Train. Oh, I think that was on purpose.
Yeah, just doing the death warp, and just 20 from the magic bat. All right, Chloe picking up their boots and choosing to save and quit immediately. They're going to go get their mirror.
Yeah, you got to imagine here that Chloe doesn't feel very good about how he's doing. Feeling a little behind after orphaning the Dark Alexis for so long.
Yep, Jetters skipping the hint, taking a peek on what's inside of the Spectral Rock. Nothing good, just a piece of art.
It's weird to me that he didn't check the hint. Like, I know that's like a pretty common thing to do to not check the hint, but like when you go up Death Mountain without any way to get to anywhere on Death Mountain, like, yeah. I feel like that gives greater value to checking that hint because you just want to find something for coming up here.
Yeah, for sure. All right, Jetter's heading to Skullwoods now. We'll get their boots. Boots are pretty mandatory to get that mirror, which is, I feel like that mirror is going to unlock a bunch of stuff. The purple chest, just 3 bombs.
Yeah, Death King headed over to the Mire area, and he'll be able to check Checkerboard and Desert Palace with this.
Yep.
Our third pendant in Logic. Pedestals in Logic, you guys. How fun.
Yeah, fully clearable. All 3 pendants fully clearable. P-Train short on dig money, doing the arrow game there. Pretty simple setup here if you just stand right next to the, I don't even know what that guy's called, the man, and fire arrow.
Drummer.
Mr. Drummer Man, little drummer boy. And fire the arrow right as the ducks pass that second, or hit that second curtain. You can hit them every time. What are they?
They're little like Octoroks.
They look like ducks.
Squid people. They don't look anything like ducks.
They look like ducks. Like weird mutated ducks.
They have tentacles.
I always thought those were wings.
I can't even right now. Wow.
Alright, so they're ducks. I think that was 50 rupees there in Desert so far. The small key was on the lamp, or the torch, excuse me. We got the big key to Desert.
As far as pendant dips go, the Desert is one of the better ones to be forced into.
Yeah, especially with the mirror.
The only bad thing about Desert is that long walk to Lammo, but with its big green pendant, you don't feel as bad about it.
Yeah. P-Train going to give us our swamp hint. Let's see what it says here. A unique item is in Thieves Town. Did we see a unique item in Thieves Town?
I don't think we did.
So either hammerlocked or on blind.
All right.
Man, that ped is looking really good right now.
I feel like I would have pulled ped already if I had been running this siege. It's standard fare to try and put off pendant dungeons for as long as you can in a big race like this.
And just a heart there in Checkerboard Cave. I think there's still a second item in Desert on Landmo.
So when we talk about like reading the logic, so to speak, in randomizer, like usually we're talking about, you know, if the game gave me all this stuff and it unlocks all these things, there's probably something there, right? And right now, the game gave us all the stuff to check pedestal. So it does make pedestal slightly more likely to be progression at this point, but it might also just be, you know, this item here in this dungeon and this item here in this dungeon.
Yeah, the pedal's a little sexy right now. It really is. I don't know if I could pass that up. All right, so P-Train making the way back to the Dark World. Let's see if they make their way to Skull Woods.
Right? No, he's going to get that unique item in Thieves Town.
Oh, rip.
I never really thought of P-Train as being a hint junkie like this. You can't just believe everything you hear, man.
I know. I hate the hints. You know, we're going to find maybe well, we will find a unique item here, but I don't know if it's going to be progression or not.
Well, we may not find a unique item here because it might be in the big chest.
Very, very true.
So it's a little unusual to see him making this dip right now. Because, like, he had put this off before. He only did the first 4 because, A, he doesn't have a hammer, and B, he doesn't have any desire to kill blind. And the hint does make it more likely to find something here, but, like, it's just 2 checks. Or, well, I guess it might be more checks from his point of view.
Yeah, Death King not checking the hint there in Spectacle Rock either, so we're missing out on that.
Everyone hates
all of our runners have left an item in pendant dungeons that are fully clearable and fully accessible. Death King gonna give us our first look at Tower of Hera, though.
Yeah, unfortunately, Tower of Hera is the only thing he can do up on Death Mountain right now. He'll need the hammer or the hook shot to continue to the east side.
There's that key that we need to get to the basement to get the big key. Alright, Jedders opens up the big chest in Desert. Let's see if he continues on to Landmo. It looks like he is.
Yeah, Landmo is a pendant boss, but it is 2 items locked behind him. Landmo himself having an item and the green pendant turn in being another one. So it's a little more valuable than normal. Hopefully he doesn't get murdered by tiles. Oh my god. Okay, he's fine for now. Mini mold arms be nice.
While we're waiting here for the Landmo fight and for Death King to get their key here, we should shout our trackers today. Demensive and Nilson Alex. Big props to them for helping keeping us on track. Not just with the trackers, but keeping us on a track with what's going on.
I get it. I get it.
So give a big shout out to them. Clicking those buttons seems like it'd be easy just clicking those buttons, but trying to pay attention to everything that's going on is not, and they do a great job. So show them your love in chat. All right, Jedders pulls out the fire rod. Last shot there. And spins with the fighter sword don't actually do extra damage to Landmo. That does make hitting a little bit easier, and it's just a 50 50 rupee drop, so nothing there. P-Train on script with blind here.
Yeah, very unscripted P-Train. But is it a unique item? That's the question.
It is not. Wow.
Alright, from here, I expect P-Train will finally go into Skull Woods.
To get their hammer, to get the unique item.
I mean, his only other option is to, do mirrorless smiths.
Yeah, he does have pod open as well. He does have the bow.
Not true.
Alright, so Death King making their way up the Tower of Hera. No idea why it's called the Tower of Hera. Don't know who Hera is.
Not a lot of Greek mythology in Hyrule, I imagine.
Alright, so P-Train gonna pick up his boots. Again, probably gonna be a little frustrated realizing, like, I could have had these a long time ago. And there's that slash.
I cannot believe I just did Pendant Thieves Town when the boots were in Skull Woods.
Twice.
Yes! We got Bombos Tower of Hera. And
Cash requires pendant. Rip that green pendant. Alright, so 2 items in Hera, Bombos and some bombs. That means we either need to go to Pod or... Did we see Catfish?
I don't believe we've seen Catfish or the Pyramid just yet.
So we got
also
those 2 checks.
Back of Skull Woods.
Back of Skull Woods and the pedestal. You know, I find when you find a unique item in a pendant dungeon, say Skull Woods, and you find something like the bow or the boots and you think, oh, this is it. I should leave after this. You're usually incorrect. Go for that second item, especially when you have a chance for it and it's this early. I really think there's something back there.
When it's the back is leading to Mothula and you have 5 hearts and a fighter sword, like I could definitely feel that decision to just leave with the boots and cut your losses.
You just gotta play a lot of inverted and get used to it. That's what I did. Doesn't make it easier, but it does help with confidence fighting.
I was in that inverted daily a while back. I died 5 times, Mothula. And I even sequenced rope to the Master Sword in that scene.
Oh, rip. Alright, it's P-Train picking up their mirror, and I'm guessing they're going to go do the Smith sequence here. Death King gets to take on Moldorm and takes him down with the fighter sword. Not the most fun fight to do with just a fighter sword, but manageable.
So chat reminding us that we have not seen Cape 45 yet either.
Oh yeah, we haven't.
Oh no, Chloe checked that and got the Master Sword.
Oh okay, but we haven't seen Graveyard Ledge, have we?
I don't believe so. Graveyard Ledge is pretty orphan for everybody. Except for Jetters, who's doing it now.
Oh, but we missed it. We are not on the ball. Again, shout out to our trackers.
It's okay.
Red Boomer right here.
We're not in charge of watching the runners, okay? We're just in charge of talking about the runners. We don't have to talk about what they're doing.
Alright, so Jetter's picking up the red boomerang. P-Train right behind them. Chloe finally checking out Hype Cave and the Disappointment. Death King 40 minutes in, checking out to see what Uncle has.
What do you think the P in P-Train stands for?
That's a great question. I never asked him that. Party Train is a great guess.
Alright, yeah, I can see that. Okay, so P-Train headed over to East Dark World with his flippers. He'll probably do Catfish, and with the bow in hand, a dip into Pod seems very likely for him.
Yep. Yeah, and Death King actually still missing the bow, not doing the shovel check.
Jedders doesn't even have the shovel. Where was the shovel?
That was from our good friend, the hobo.
Oh, that's unfortunate.
All right, Mr. Catfish, what do you have for us? Spit it out of your mouth.
So Jedders will head down here and probably check Pyramid. He won't be able to check Hobo afterwards if he chooses not to go into Palace of Darkness.
You're having a nice convergence for runners on the east side of Hyrule here.
Yeah, everyone's pretty much running out of nice things to do.
And this is really unfortunate for Death King having to do Pod without, or excuse me, do Eastern without the bow when the bow is readily available.
Yeah, it's surprising he didn't do the shovel check like with K45 or something. Just get those locations out of the way.
I'm not sure Death King did. They did a lot of those checks without the mirror. Half magic on the pyramid, not bad.
Somebody said Mothula.
Yeah, the seed is please go to Mothula. All right, Chloe going to give us our first look inside Pod, past that first chest, which just had the big key. P-Chain right behind him. Jedders making their way, unfortunately without the bow. Does have a potion, or does have a bottle, but I don't believe there's a potion in there. Unless they stopped to fill it up. And we've got a key, and I'm guessing we're going to have another key here. So there's 2 of our 4 required keys in the front.
Yeah, no hammer, so he'll have to mirror back to the front of the dungeon and probably check the vanilla big key chest first. Oh,
or
no.
not.
Okay. Oh, not even getting the second non-key in the front.
Yeah,
So the big key's in the front. Chloe kind of ruined the routing of the dungeon, but as long as the big key's in the back, it's not a big deal.
A big key's in the front. It was the first chest.
Oh, then never mind. He doesn't care.
Alright, so there was a key, and there was another key. So that means there's an item in the front. Oh no, there's not. No, wait a second. There's a key in the front. So
there's definitely one non-key still in the front.
Yeah. So it could be a map or compass or something, but. So Death King clearing all of Eastern of the can, but without that bow, unable to finish. Missed the first item.
We're doing a mimic clip.
And there's the hammer.
So Chloe will have to be dipping back for that. I'm sure he'll remember.
So P-Drain actually will end up clearing Pod here.
Yeah, unfortunately lampless, even though it is in logic over at Meyer Shed.
Yeah. Jeddar's able to do the mimic clip. And it looks like we got the Cane of Samaria also in the Dark Maze there. Chloe picks up their hammer.
So with the fire rod, these dark rooms heading to Helmasaur are not as bad. It's not terribly difficult to find the torch to fire rod it, although it doesn't have like a really nice lineup like usual torches.
Not a healthy seed though. Chloe only on 5 hearts still, and the other runner's on 6. Still green male. Yeah, Helma is not the easiest fight with low HP. Not Mothula or anything, but
you can pretty safely do like the first phase with a sword by holding your sword out, and then with the second phase they do have silver arrows, so they can just end it really quickly before he starts getting real crazy.
Yeah, it just depends on if he wants to spit out those fireballs a lot or not. But everything in there does 2 hearts of damage, so you do have to be careful. Alright, so he is able to light it up. Pulls out the hammer. Again, has to be careful. Only on 2 hearts.
This is where the last dark room of the dungeon comes into play. There are 2 sets of 2 turtles in the way. And you can hammer them, but doing that in the dark is a little difficult. So he may die and just eat this fairy.
Yeah.
Jitters, of course, would have a much easier time with this dark room. With the lamp, unfortunately, still no bow.
Yeah.
You can see Chloe playing it safe here, making sure to dodge all those fireballs before going back to hitting Helmasaur. In phase 1, Helmasaur's 2 attacks, he always does them completely separately. So as long as you just play it safe, you don't really take damage there.
Yeah, it's unfortunate for Jitters and both Death King having to. They're both going to end up double dipping both Eastern and Pod unnecessarily. P-Train down to 2 hearts. Makes it through. Just get that shot right in there. And he does.
Yeah, he still had that fairy to work with, so he was playing a little more aggressively than Chloe was. Chloe immediately going to the Maya area where he'll find the lamp that he wished he had.
Yeah. And Myers full clearable as well. Though, again, you either have Master Sword or Fighter Sword and less than 7 hearts. So have fun with that. A Silver Arrows, I guess, makes that a bit easier.
Yeah, I feel like if you've done Meyer like 1,000 times, you can pretty much avoid damage the whole dungeon except for the Vidi fight. And with Silver Arrows, you can definitely avoid damage. So I would definitely expect to see them go into Meyer. Although we have Quake marked as the Meyer Medallion, so I thought it was Ether. Was I wrong?
I thought it was Ether too, but apparently we were wrong.
That's okay. We're not in charge of watching the runners. Just talking about them.
Right.
The trackers have to watch the runners, so we trust them.
Yeah, all of our runners, are in. It's so hard to figure out who's in the lead right now because all of our runners have skipped something. Death King is skipping the bow, having the shovel. Jetters skipping the shovel, which leads to the bow. P-Train needs to go to the smiths to get his flute. And I think that would mean Chloe's actually our runner in the best position.
GG, Chloe! Yeah, Chloe's done the least amount of skipping, I would say. Even having that Master Sword out of K45.
I'm surprised Chloe didn't either. Well, I guess Desert is a quick check, but didn't immediately go up to the mountain. I feel like I'd be up in the mountain right now with the hammer and the mirror.
I would definitely expect him to skip Landmo, just because of all those checks on the mountain being available.
All right, Death King going to pick up their bow now. Unfortunately, having already done most of Pod in Eastern. Actually, no, not doing Pod because it was bow locked. So I imagine Death King will be heading right back to Pod. Clear that out, finish off Eastern, and then we'll see where he heads.
P-Train checking the hint tile there in Spectral Rock Cave. I think he was the first one to do that. It said a unique item in Hookshot Cave. And then he gave us a little swag hover to get out.
Yeah, so whether or not he has the hookshot, then P-Train will definitely be getting that item. So Jetters with the mirror, with the hammer, is going to go up to the mountain, follow P-Train, probably clear out Harris since it is a crystal, and then check over on East Death Mountain and Dark East Death Mountain. And Chloe, not far behind. So we're going to have a little bit of convergence with the three runners there, and Death King cleaning up some areas that he skipped.
Yeah, it feels real bad to have to redo these bow dungeons. Especially finding out that it was never necessary to double dip them.
Yeah. All right, so since we got a little time, let's try to figure out what do we need. We need the Ice Rod for Turtle Rock. We need the Quake Medallion to get inside of Misery Mire. We need the Hook Shot for Swamp Palace. And whatever medallion we need for Turtle Rock. Yeah, we do know there's a unique item still sitting there in Thieves Town Big Key chest.
Yeah, and another one in Hookshot Cave. And we know neither of those are the boots.
That's right.
Yeah, usually you see a unique item hit and you're thinking, oh, it's gotta be the boots, right? But
yeah,
we already know where those are.
Yeah, that's what P-Train was thinking, I imagine, when he made that second dip into Thieves Town.
Right.
Armos Knights means nothing when you have silver arrows. 6 shots from Death King, and down they go. P-Train picking up their Bombos Medallion and their bombs. Not sure if Jetters was trying to do a Death Warp or not, but died in the basement there. And used this fairy, then mirrored out. Where is Death King going? They're going to go check Dark Cross, I believe. Oh no, they haven't even done the front of Escape. I think Dark Cross is a key.
Yeah, I think you're right. The options for Death King are pretty gross right now. He can go back to Pod, which is where we know he needs to go to get that hammer, but going to Pod without the hammer is no fun.
Yeah, I mean it's a second dip already into Pod, and you're pretty sure you can't clear it because you don't have a hammer. And since they don't have the hammer, I have to make the long trek to Pod from Skullwoods. All right, P-Train, going to give us our first look at Death Mountain here.
As long as Death King doesn't go to Ice Palace, I think he's going to be okay.
Yeah. Got the long trek through Spiral Cave here. We are rewarded with the 20 rupees.
Bonk.
All right, Moldorm goes down for Jetters there. So there's a lot of items here now for P-Train to check.
Yeah, P-Train enters the Dark World and leaves a mirror portal right outside Paradox Cave. This is to prep going into Super Bunny.
Alright, first 2 checks, 3 bombs and 10 arrows. Five checks in here. We've got a heart container. 300 rupees. Piece of heart. Another heart container. And the book.
That's fun.
I hope you like fetch quests.
Yeah, it's a little more valuable than your typical fetch quest, but it's also worse at the same time because both of those checks are just so far apart and out of the way.
I really hope we don't find the hookshot in here so that we can see P-Train hover hookshot cave. Got 2 checks here in Super Bunny. What's it gonna be? Oh, now we're getting all our health, and there's the bombs. I'm gonna take a look at what the medallion we need for Turtle Rock, which is Bombos.
Hey, we have that one.
Yeah, which is gross because we can do all but Trinex of Turtle Rock right now.
Ice Rod on Laser Bridge. Let's see it.
Alright, so our bonkable checks gives us 10 arrows, and we get to see it, my friend.
God, I hate you, P-Train.
Oh, it's just the Cane of Berna. Ooh, and the Ice Rod.
That's so good.
Man, I wish I was playing this race. Nice. And a piece of heart. So, TR, fully clearable now.
Yeah, he'll do that too.
It's so funny. The first one you see is the Cane of Burn, and you're just like, ugh, I can't believe it. This stinks. And then you get rewarded with the Ice Rod. Unbelievable. Hovering. Learn to hover, everyone. Alright, so we are down to the hookshot and the Quake medallion as far as no mode. Very helpful green joke hint there. First check of Turtle Rock is a small key. Yeah, P-Train is going to have to do the this next room the, I guess, intended way.
Yeah. I guess you could say it's intended.
It's so long and slow.
Do what you gotta do. The hookshot can absolutely be in here. It just can't be on Trinex.
Right. 100%.
Although I'm still holding out hope for hookshot on pedestal.
I know. That pet is still alive.
And we got the book now. We can go check it at some point.
All right, so just the key and a map. We did need that key. The map, not so much.
So Jetter's heading back into Thieves Town. We'll be able to see what that unique item is.
What's your prediction? Mushroom?
It's probably hookshot.
I'm gonna say it's the bug net.
Oh, you think it's a bait? It's a baited hint.
Yep. P-Train pulling out the jukes, breaking those Chain Chomp's ankles. Gets his. Was that the big key? It was.
Yeah, I think so. Meanwhile, Death King has made his way back to Palace of Darkness, where he will end up finding that bow, or not the bow, but the hammer with the bow.
Yeah, Hammer and Canis Smart in here, so that'll be good for them. Jetters really needs to go visit that hobo under the bridge. Chloe in Turtle Rock behind P-Train now, though, without the ice rod.
God, it's gonna feel so bad to learn that you lost 3 minutes because you didn't hover.
Yeah. Alright, just a key for a key there in the big key chest. I don't think we've got any hints for Mimic Cave, so we will see that from P-Train as well. Hookshot anywhere is going to be pretty gross, but hookshot in Turtle Rock would be pretty mean.
I don't think Chloe would mind finding a hookshot there. Because, like, you can save your portal.
Oh, that's true.
It's, like, super duper gross to save your portal, but you can.
So normally you would check, if you're only one item from go mode, you'd probably check the TR big chest first before doing the mimic check, but since P-Train still needs a couple items, knows he's gonna have to do it anyways, just goes ahead and jumps into mimic cave first.
Yeah, still missing that flute, the Quake medallion, and the hookshot. And from his point of view, none of this is in logic. Like, he has no idea where the flute or the lamp is.
Or the lamp, yeah. Alright, first item. 10 bombs.
Oh, here's that unique item in Thieves Town. What could it be, Jetters? Just the magic cape.
Yeah, I think we saw the bumper ledge, which was nothing, so. Second item in Turtle Rock is 300 rupees. Navigating the dark maze, pretty simple actually if you know the pattern. The only problem is if you do get lost, it can get a little hairy.
Yeah, the hardest part of this whole dark room is moving right instead of left when you first step on the platform.
Yeah, sure is.
Once you've done that, everything should be pretty easy if you have that pattern memorized.
Let's see how well practiced P-Train is with their laser skips. It is going to take open up the door here.
That is so surprising to me that he takes the safety door. I personally think of P-Train as being somebody who's like way better than me at this game, and I wouldn't have taken the safety door there. And I really doubt he's going to end up using the safety door.
Only one more item left. And it's on Trinex, so no hook shot here.
I guess for us, the only thing that could be here is the Quake Medallion.
So we do have Ice Palace open to us. We have some of Swamp Palace open. We've got that last item in Skull Woods, the pedestal still open.
Yeah, quite a bit of the game is still available.
Nice job from P-Train taking down the first head there. Yeah, we found the book as well, so there's those checks.
Alright, you can't miss too many times, P-Train.
This has got one last shot.
One shot.
Oh,
right.
no.
He has a fairy, he has a fairy.
Oh, good.
That'll be okay.
Forgot about that fairy. Everyone else has used their fairy, I believe, already. Just one more hit from the hammer, and down goes Trinex. Let's take a look at the last item here in Turtle Rock. It is $20. Turtle Rock. More like empty rock, right? Am I right?
Yeah, Turtle Rock pretty empty here. But I mean, still like a good clear for P-Train, especially with that hover leading to the ice rod, where Chloe's going to have to double dip this. P-Train got to do it in one single clear, and this is a very long double dip. Even if you manage to save the portal, it's still like a 2-minute time loss.
Yeah. Chad's asking where Ice Rod was. Ice Rod was actually inside Hookshot Cave. We don't have the Hookshot yet, though P-Train, using the swag, found it for us.
Not checking...
Yeah, that was a little surprising not to check the tablet first. And Jetter is actually going to give us our first look at the back of Skullwoods as well. And it is on Mothula.
Jedder's gonna pull the ped. He already has the other two pendants.
Spike Cave gives us the hook shot. What a... The seeds are just mean. Seeds are just mean.
Yeah, it's gonna be very unfortunate because Chloe is very likely to do Hookshot Cave as soon as he gets out of Turtle Rock here. So on the plus side, this does mean he'd be able to save his mirror portal. It's an uncommon situation to have to save the mirror portal, though, that a lot of players aren't even aware that it's possible. And he's saving quits out. That's not good.
So we just need Quake now. Pistol is now on life support.
And down goes Mothula for Jetters.
It's the big
It's
key.
the big key. Of course it's the big key. Thanks, Mothula. All right, so we'll get to see Pedestal before we find out what the second item in Skullwoods was.
That's pretty funny. So P-Train still needing to do that Smith chain.
Yeah, P-Train with the hookshot opting to go Swamp Palace immediately, where Chloe skipped Spike Cave and will go into Ice Palace. So we're going to see lots of new checks here. Meanwhile, Jetters pulling the pedestal. Get your hype in chat. It's got to be something amazing, right? It's pretty amazing. Thanks, Gabe.
I love it. I love it because the seed screamed pedestal very, very early. It really did. Alright, first check in the Swamp Palace, 10 arrows. We still do have one more item in Skullwoods.
So if memory serves, the only progression we found in any pendant were those boots, right?
That's right.
20 rupees.
Chloe's actually can give us a look at Ice Palace. We missed the first chest. No, I don't see Quake marked on their tracker, so. Death King here also gonna dip into Turtle Rock. Unfortunately for them, no Ice Rod.
Chloe gets that bomb gem, be able to continue through the dungeon. Although with not so many hearts.
So not surprisingly, P-Train skipping on the left side of Swamp. For now, at least.
Yeah, he's still several items from Go Mode, so I wouldn't be surprised to see him go to Swamp. Or go to the left side Swamp if he doesn't find anything in the back. If he finds something in the back, though, he's definitely not safe. And Jetter is finally getting that bow from the shovel.
Oh, nice. Alright, so let's recap this a bit. We had Moon Pearl and Waterfall Fairy. We had gloves in Blind's Hut and Mini Moldarm Cave, I believe that's correct. The Hobo gave us the shovel, which gave us the bow. With the hammer and pod, that's always fun. Boots in the front of Pendant Skull Woods. Hookshot in Spike Cave, and Ice Rod in Hookshot Cave.
Yay!
And with just Fighter Sword in hand for P-Train, gonna have to do either spins or mirror or menu strats.
The funny thing about the Ice Rod and Spike Cave though is that the logical access to Spike Cave was the Cape because the Cane of Burna was also shot locked.
Oh, was it?
That cape that only one person got from Team 7.
And the seed wasn't free as far as hearts go either.
Yeah, we've been very low on hearts for most of the seed. And it wasn't until Death Mountain Access that people started getting like more than 7.
Alright, so we found the map and the compass and the big key. So there's still 3 items here in Swamp Palace.
Yeah, he'll definitely stay. If he doesn't stay, he's crazy.
Alright, Death King checking the tablet, just a piece of heart. P-Train bailed out of that one.
Death King headed south here. Are we going to Swamp Palace without the hookshot?
Looks like it. P-Train. Open up the big chest,
like
10 arrows.
Bombo's tablet first, at least. I believe we already checked that on from Chloe, though.
Alright, so which runner is in the best position right now?
Gotta say P-Train right here. Like, he's still missing Flute, but Smith's sequence after Swamp is gonna be very easy for him to decide to do. He might do Ice Palace first, but those mirror checks are like right there.
Yes, hookshot being in Spike Cave is pretty rough. Alright, so Death King also heading into Ice Palace now. Did Chloe not complete Ice Palace? I missed that.
I guess not. We should menu here in a second. We can count the crystals.
So it looks like Chloe couldn't get the hook shot bomb jump, and Death worked out. So.
All right, left side Swamp has a heart container, Snake Heart even.
Oh, and I don't think we're gonna see the
no P-Train fix interwebs.
Looks like we're having a little bit of trouble with some runners here.
And now he's out. Shoot. Okay, open the menu.
So we're looking for it. Wasn't a sword. And was it the Quake medallion? Is the big question. It was not.
All right, so Swamp completely empty.
So if you are a P-Train, do you do these mirror checks like K45, and do you do that with or did he? I don't know if he did those already. I don't think so.
He definitely has not done K45 yet.
So is he going to do K45 into?
Yeah, I think you do Smith checks.
Smith, yeah.
I mean, it makes sense to go to Ice Palace, right? It's a crystal dungeon. You can full clear it, but it's also, I just spent the whole time full clearing Swamp Palace. You want me to full clear Ice Palace too?
He's picking up his Master Sword there, so that is good.
He might do Pyramid Fairy, actually. No, he won't do Pyramid Fairy because he knows that Pyramid Fairy was locked behind Death Mountain Access, which he still doesn't have. Okay. Or he will do Pyramid Fairy, and I'm crazy. Don't listen to me, guys.
I told you, we cannot...
I don't know what I'm talking about.
Predict anything.
I mean, it could still be the flute, like, from his point of view. Like, it can be the flute. Because maybe it's just the lamp that he skipped in logic.
think we're gonna get a bomb dupe here. Oh, we're not. Again, cannot predict anything. All right, so Jeddar's on their way to Ice Palace now as well. I think so far there's only been one item opened as far as that we've seen. The stream's only going to freeze when he's opening items.
Gosh, darn it. Alright, we got him back before he got him there.
Got a 20, and there it is. We are in no mode, my friend.
Yeah, and unfortunately still has to go over to Smith to get that full loot.
But I feel like he'll do that sooner rather than later. Like, he might go do Ice Palace first.
Yeah, given that he didn't continue to the Smith when it was so close, I think he'll definitely be doing Ice Palace first. He's got the mirror equipped. I don't know where he's going, actually. I better not guess.
This looks like Ice Palace. I feel like if he was going somewhere else, he might have saved and quit.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that's true. Chat brings up the point that he doesn't even know that Quake is required. But he's still got to feel good about it because that being the third medallion, he now knows for sure he can get into Myra as soon as he finds that flute.
So our 5-6 crystals looks like TR and Swamp Palace. So again, what a mean seed. Seeds are so mean.
Yeah, P-Train's gonna very likely finish well ahead of our other runners, just on the back of that hover to Ice Rod.
Yeah.
So, like, the other runners did have the possibility of going to Spike Cave and getting the hookshot before going to Hookshot Cave, but, like, typical routing makes that kind of a terrible play. So it's no surprise that nobody did that. And then killing Trinex makes it easier to get to Spike Cave because it puts you back on top of the mountain.
Yep.
Where mirroring the safety bridge, you'd have to like walk out, re-enter the dark world. It's very slow.
So the only other items that we could really be looking for are swords, but it looks like our other swords are probably in Ganon's Tower or Mire. So our 3 runners really need to make their way to Spike Cave.
Yeah, unfortunately, it is such an out-of-the-way check. I would not be surprised to see all 3 runners pull pedestal before going back up there.
Yeah, we have Chloe Prower and Death King back in Thieves Town. Death King did take that death to blind, and I don't think Chloe did the back of Thieves Town, so we'll be able to full clear this now and get their cape, and maybe that leads them up to Spike Cave.
Yeah, definitely as it as a logical alternative.
Alright, there's a heart container there in Ice Palace. Find out that Bombos is an item we've already opened.
You know, it's funny to think about, like, P-Train saved so much time with that hover to the Ice Rod, but if any of our other runners had just done Spike Cave, they would have been ahead. Yep. Still, just because they would be go-moding Swamp and Ice Palace, where he's full clearing the ball. So it really shows like how big of a difference routing decisions can make, and that the hover was not the end all be all, like God route, automatically win the game kind of tech. There was a path to victory without it.
Yeah, the problem was, again, you didn't have any hearts. You didn't have enough hearts to really think about doing cave. If you're using something like a map tracker, it's not going to light up until you put the cape or get the cape or the cane of Burna, so it's not really on your mind. It's just a sucky location for the hookshot to be for.
Yeah, no, it's a really terrible location. So obviously the God route is to hover and do spike cape.
Oh, 100%, yeah. And I thought P-Train had already opened all 3 items. I thought there was something in the front, but he's still opening items. He got a heart container and the red mail.
I'm just thinking about like my own personal routing philosophy, what I would have done in that situation after dipping Turtle Rock without the ice rod. I definitely would have stayed and done Hype Cave and probably tried to save my portal, just to make sure that that's not going to ruin me. Sure. And in this scene, it would have paid off big.
Yeah, your dog agrees with you as well.
Yeah, he's a rowdy one. Whether or not I'd have the flute at that point, I have no idea.
I really want to know what's going on in P-Train's mind right now, because he still doesn't have Death Mountain access, like logical Death Mountain access. He's trying to figure out where's either the lamp or the flute, and how is one going to lead to the other, and why haven't I found it yet?
Well, Ice Palace is definitely a location that could have both of those. This wasn't logic before going up mountain.
Okay, so the third item, the front didn't have an item. There's 2 heart containers and red mail. So Chloe and Death King picking up their capes, doing more overall checks in the areas that they're in, which makes sense. Death King looks like he's gonna check out the pedestal here, find out, to his disappointment, nothing here. Half magic for when you're fighting Cold Stare with the Fire Rod just feels nice. It just feels so good.
Yeah, I'm a little surprised he didn't open with bombos, just to have more Fire Rod shots.
Nice fight there, though. Picks up his 6th crystal.
Jeddar's just needs half a heart here in Ice Palace.
Oh no. He just needs to make his way to the Smith chain, which he should be making shortly. I don't think he's got a lot left.
Yeah, all he really has left is like that one item in Thieves Town, which is a unique item, and the back of the skull lids. The Smith train looks much more appealing.
And with the start at Sanctuary, that looks like where he is going. He's going to be heading towards Village of Outcasts at least. He might do Thieves Town first because of that hint. But after that, I imagine cleaning up the Smith chain and getting that flute, and he will be in go mode. And this might be good for Death King. Oh no, he's fluting away.
Well, the bird didn't pick you up. Might as well do Spike Cave, right?
Okay.
So make sure I'm gonna get a sick kid check in real quick. It's a really long dip to get to that big chest. I think I'd want to do Smith sequence first, just in case it's nice and easy. Of course, P-Train's nightmare right now is that he finds the lamp and not the flute.
I know, that would be terrible.
Cheddar's down to 1.5 hearts here on Cold Stare. He has 1 puff down. Oh, ice right on the face. Feels bad.
Yeah, that's rough. Alright, so this is good for P-Train. P-Train's going to be in go mode in just about a minute and a half. And we're not going to announce any finishes until one of our restream runners finishes. But P-Train, I feel like with that hover and getting the ice rod and not having to double dip TR or search for the ice rod, is going to put himself in really good position to finish pretty highly in this race.
Yeah, very low percentage of runners are able to hover with that kind of consistency. So it's definitely likely that he's ahead. But like I was saying before, there is a route where you don't hover and you still beat P-Train.
Yep.
All you have to do is just check Spike Cave and get to go mode Swamp and Ice. Even if you still double dip Turtle Rock, go moding Swamp and Ice versus full clearing them both is a greater time save than the loss from double dipping Turtle Rock.
Yeah, 100%.
It's just, and with the, obviously with the way the items are laid out, it's unlikely that many people will do that. But with such a large race, you got to think someone did it somewhere.
Yeah. Yeah, here's a question. Does P-Train get the lamp?
Yeah, he'll probably check the Mire Shed. Like, sword is nice, They're such quick checks.
I told you, we can't predict anything.
No.
We cannot predict anything.
He'll do Mire first, but I'm saying, like, if he doesn't find a sword in here, I'll probably check Mire Shed.
I don't know.
Well, it's like right there.
I know. I'm just saying. I don't know. I don't know. All right, so P-Train making his way through Misery Mire. Can't really find anything here except for maybe a sword. He will be go moding this though. Hoping for a God Mire.
Maybe Mire Shed's just a little out of the way for him.
I'm playing this. I'm checking Mire Shed first, but that's
I probably would too.
Just because I don't want to check it afterwards, and it is a God Mire, so we're gonna see a hover from P-Train. Here we go. Just a little too excited there.
He already got the hover that mattered.
Yeah, that one is 100% swag.
Chloe giving us our second Ted poll tonight.
Nice dark room navigation here. And he says, I don't need you, Lamp. All right, I missed it. So Death King did eventually head over to Spike Cave and was able to pick up their hook shot. It looks like Jetters did as well. It looks like Chloe's on their way. So our runners will be able to pick that stuff up, though. They're still looking for that ice rod.
Yeah, both Chloe and Jetters are pretty severely bottlenecked by it.
All right, down goes Vitreous. That's going to be P-Train's 7th crystal. And he'll be making his way to Ganon's Tower. We like to play a little fun game just for funsies here, where we like to guess where the Ganon's Tower big key is. There's 22 different locations where that big key can be located. So go ahead and get your guesses in chat. We're just doing this for fun. You don't win anything other than our respect and admiration. So, Koi.
What?
22 locations. What are you going to choose?
7.
I'm gonna do a little prices right here. I'm gonna say 8.
Whoa. Wow. Okay. Yeah. No. No. It's cool. Yeah, I understand. It's gonna be like that. I get it. I get it.
That's a good. Go ahead and get your guesses in the chat there. See those numbers flying by. P-Train, I believe, is a Dark Magician router, so he'll head left first.
Right. Really? At this point in the game, you're now continuing to try and assume what he does?
Well, I think I would say I think I know P-Train, but obviously he's going to disprove everything, right? Like, I'm not going to be close to getting this right.
I've learned my lesson. I'm going to wait. Of course, there's many different ways you can route Ganon's Tower, and with how the big key can literally be anywhere in the tower, no one path is severely better than any other path.
Yeah.
So usually when we're talking about like what route you should have taken, it's in comparison to what other people would do.
Yep. And P-Train, proving me right as always, heads left.
Watch him go all the way to Random Room.
I know. You might watch him. He's totally going to do that. All right, number 1 is just some bombs. We're going to skip those. Bob's going to live. Pick up our key, hammer down these little pegs, and make our way to the Stalfos room where we've got 4 chests. So, number 2, $50. Number 3, $20. Number 4 is a small key. Number 5 is our mushroom. I've raced against and watched P-Train race enough to know how much he likes Dark Magician.
Yeah, it's definitely one of the more popular routes. Does he do the full Dark Magician or just the Pink Magician?
Yeah, he'll go to the compass room and then go left from there. So 6 and 7, just a key in the bottle.
Yeah, Pink Magician is like this like middle ground route in between like the Hope route and full Dark Magician. The main problem area with this route is Ice Armless. If Ice Armless has the big key, then you lose to everybody.
Yeah. All right, number 8 coming up is 300 rubies. Number 9, 3 bombs. Number 10, piece of heart. Number 11, a tempered sword.
It's nice pickup.
Not too shabby.
So even if he gets to the big key slower than say somebody doing the Hope route, he would be up ahead in swords at least. That could definitely save some time on Ganon.
What's this, number 13?
Oh, that's kind of a rough spot to find the big key versus Hope Route.
Yeah. That was number 12. So let's see. Let's look in chat to see who we have as our winner. Looks like Daniel O'Brien, Daniel Oberon, sorry for that, was our first runner to guess number 12. So congratulations on winning the GT Big Key guessing game.
GG.
And of course, since Coy guessed number 7 and I guessed number 8, I was the winner between the two of us since I was the closest without going over.
Okay.
Who the true winner is today.
Yep. Okay. I'll get you in the. What do they call it? Shoot.
The Showcase Showdown?
I'll get you in the Showcase Showdown, man. All right. You don't stand a chance. I'm getting that trip to Paris.
All right, so P-Train making his way through the gauntlet now onto the second room here. Our other runners still on that hunt for the ice rod. And with that Temper Sword, Silver Arrows, P-Train makes short work of that gauntlet. On to land mode 2. Let's see if we can get the one cycle here. And he cannot. He misses all 3 shots, unfortunately. All right, on to number 2. Nope. 2 of them are down. And down goes number 3. Alright, so we have magic. Doing the torch room lighting, not that big of a deal with the fire rod. You'll have plenty of magic to do both torch rooms and not even have to pick up a refill here. With that Tempered Sword and Silvers in hand, not even wasting time opening up other chests. Doesn't need butter. We'll do a quick heart refill, pick up full magic here, and take down Moldworm 2. Pulling out the swag. I love it.
You deserve that, P-Train.
I love it. Keep it going, man. Keep it going.
And to be clear, that was entirely for swag. The time save for hovering that is so minuscule.
Yeah.
Versus just killing Moldorm when you have the hook shot.
I mean, I would never waste time trying to hover Moldorm 2 there. So you gotta respect that. Alright, on to Aga 2. There's number 1. That's 2. We need 6 hits. Gets a beautiful triple there.
Yeah, it's real nice when he doesn't blue ball you from that position.
Oh, and misses that last one. That's unfortunate. All right, down goes Aga 2, and P-Train is on his way to visit Ganon. Looks like Death King is making his way up to Hookshot Cave, so we'll be able to pick up his Ice Rod and clear out Turtle Rock. Then we'll have to go to the Pyramid Fairy to get the Quake Medallion. This seed is mean. This is an open seed, reminder. This isn't Key Sanity or Entrance or anything that should take a long time.
So Chloe, unfortunately, ended up getting that hook shot and finding the Ice Rod even, but didn't do Turtle Rock when he was up there.
Oh no.
So he just walked past the pyramid on his way to Catfish. So from this point, you got to think he's probably going to go to Ice Fowls and full clear that before he goes back up the Tiara.
P-Train also pulling out the swag there with the dash strats. Still not able to get the 1-in-1 cycle there.
Yeah, the 1-in-1 is a very, very tight strat.
On to phase 3 for P-Train. Did you find the arrows in the light road? Sure did. Have 2 of them. Lights the torches exactly to get Ganon in the right position to put 2 more arrows in. And down goes Ganon. Get your GGs in chat. For P-Train, who will be our first runner on the restream to finish, we'll get you an official SRL time here in a second. So P-Train passes through the gate and finishes in 4th place overall with a time of 1:47.05. GG's to P-Train.
GG.
Let's see who else finished this race. Now this race had 60 plus runners in it, so 4th place might as well be first.
Our other 3 finishers all finishing sub 140. The God route.
So Cyan T finished in 1st place with 1:37.41, a full 10 minutes before P-Train. Zoda Stone finished in 2nd place with a 1:38.22, and Plasma Kappa finished in 3rd place at 1:39.19. Send help. And not surprisingly, there's been quite a bit of forfeits because this seed was mean. We'll see if P-Train's going to join us. It looks like he is in the setup room, so he'll be joining us soon.
Welcome P-Train to the voice chat. GG.
GG's. So apparently that was a bad seed in some way.
Oh, it was a bad seed, unless you like to hover, my friend.
I mean, Hookshot was a bit trolled, but other than that, I don't know that I understand why there were so many forfeits on the seed. I don't know where the lamp was, so Dark Rooms might have been part of it as well.
No, I mean, if you break it down on where all the different items were, it could be pretty trolly. So, like, for example, some of our runners last location bow, so they did double dips of Eastern and Pod. Hobo having the shovel to get the bow. What was some other things? I mean, obviously Quake was a little trolly. Players skipped the boots for a while.
Oh yeah, boots were trolly in like the most annoying way because they weren't really troll. You just had to, even though I have no intention of clearing Skull Woods on 5 hearts and fighter sword, let me just check the front just in case. Which I can't imagine anybody doing. So I mean, someone may have, but I honestly, in that case, I think it's the better decision to skip Skull Woods for the time being.
I think one of our restream runners went into Skullwoods real early, but he, like everybody else, found the boots and immediately dipped out.
I mean,
yeah, for me that was a.
Go ahead.
Well, for me that was a. I was a bit tilted this seed because of the hint system in its current implementation. When I found the Thieves Town hint that said there was a unique item, my mind told me, oh, that can't be the big chest because I think big chests have their own unique hint, which apparently isn't the case. So when I did Thieves Town and found 3 junk items, I was just really annoyed. So at that point, I told myself, like, all right, I have to pretend like this item doesn't exist. Like, I'm not going back to Thieves Town. The only way I go back to Thieves Town is if I find the lamp. I'm going to assume that unique item is the lamp. I don't know if it was or not.
Yeah, so the way that works is, say if it's choosing the big chest, it can choose any of the possible variations of hints that would refer to that location. So it could have even said a hammerlocked item.
Yeah, but in Swamp, that's not the case. In Swamp, if it says it's in Swamp Palace, you know definitively that it is not referring to Left Side Swamp or the big chest because they have their own unique hint. I just thought it was consistent through the dungeons. Like Mire, if it says it's in Misery Mire, it's not on the Firelock side unless it specifically says it's on the Firelock side. I just thought it was the same case for Thieves Town, but apparently not.
Yeah, I think it's different because those are considered like the bad location hints.
So, did anybody check the big chest of Thieves Town?
Yes. It was the Magic Cape, which gave logical access to the Hookshot, which led to the Cane of Burna and Ice Rod.
I was wondering about that because I got the Cane of Burna. I was like, oh, I can check Spike Cave, but Spike Cave is always garbage anyway, so it doesn't matter. And then I found the Hookshot, and I did kind of scratch my head because I was like, that means Cape is out there somewhere. It didn't even occur to me that could have been what was in the big chest of Thieves Town, but I don't know. I just told myself, I'm like, I'm not going back to Thieves Town until I find the lamp. Yeah, I'm just gonna assume that's what's there.
Your hookshot cave hover definitely made a huge difference in this scene. Because like most players who go to the mountain when you do, they obviously don't do Spike Cave first, and they go to Hookshot Cave, or they go to TR without the Ice Rod, and then once they're out of TR, they may not even go over to Spike Cave at that point because first of all, it's not logic yet, and secondly, they have to like climb the mountain all over again. It's such a pain. And then even when somebody finally does go back up there to Spike Cave and they get the hookshot, they're not thinking, oh, let's go do Hookshot Cave. They're thinking, let's go do the Swamp. So a lot of runners end up doing that very, very late. And then even after all that, and they finally get the Ice Run, they finally do TR, the Pyramid Fairy still doesn't look that great. Because you still have Ice Palace, you still have Swamp Palace, the pedestal's been in Logic for like hours. So the hover definitely made a huge difference.
Yeah, I can see that. I don't know. I did know the hover because I mean I'm thinking like Spike Cave is always the same equipment. Like nobody walks out of Spike Cave. You just don't do it ever. So I was like, maybe that's an advantage, but at the same time, like if I couldn't hover and I get the hook shot in Spike Cave, like I'm immediately going back to the hookshot cave. But yeah, I can see maybe dipping Turtle Rock before Spike Cave and that being a big thing. So yeah, that makes a lot of sense. Where was the lamp? I see some of the people should have it. Oh, okay. Well, I probably should have checked. I almost checked that for a sword, but I was like, no, either I get a sword GT or I'm done. So I'll just do Master Sword.
Yeah, we're thinking the god route in this seed would have been to either hover or just check Spike Cave really early for no reason, as well as just doing the Smith sequence much earlier.
I mean, if I didn't check the Swamp Palace hint and completely avoided Thieves Town, that would have saved a lot of time. Avoiding Thieves Town in this seed, I don't know when I would have sequenced Broken Death Mountain. or when I would have gotten the flute otherwise. Because I don't know, I'm not typically one to jump at the opportunity to do the Smiths, but also I usually don't sequence break Death Mountain. But after clearing that nonsense Thieves Town, then I found boots where they were, and then I got all of these goodies in Pod. Like Pod was loaded this seed. Would it have the hammer, something else, and yeah, I know it's Cane of Samaria. I felt like it was one more item in there. Maybe not, but I got a lot of stuff from Pod. I was like, hey, I can do pretty much everything but Turtle Rock on the mountain, so let's take a chance, and that ended up working out for me to see.
Yeah, I think a big change that was something that might have affected your routing significantly is if you had dipped Skullwoods earlier and got the boots. You already know that leads to the mirror, so I would think you would probably save and quit right away, go get the mirror, and then doing Smith checks on the way to Palace of Darkness starts looking really good.
Yeah. I'm trying to think. I felt like there was something else that really kind of affected my routing this season, but I can't remember what it was.
Well, here's something that slowed you down: is you farmed Zora money really early.
Oh yeah. Well, not on farming Zora money. So that put me in a really weird place. Because it wasn't just that I farmed Zora money; it's that I didn't farm enough money, knowing that I am going straight to the Dark World, and I am likely going to need 30 rupees for chess game, 80 rupees for the dig game, and then 110 rupees for Pod. I was 100% going to Pod until I found that hint in Swamp saying that there was a unique item in Thieves. So I bailed on Pod, which kind of worked out because I ended up getting to do Pod with the boots. Unfortunately, I forgot because I was still tilted over the Thieves Town hint, and then in addition to that, where the boots were, I forgot to route the pyramid item in with Pod. That was a tactical error on my part. So I missed out on half magic, which kind of gave me a little bit closer of a Trinex fight than I wanted. Not only did I run out of magic, but also I died and was bailed out by a fairy, so that was annoying. Illis, I did do the arrow game, but I didn't even have the money for arrow game until I got the big 20 off of Stumpy. So even doing the arrow game, I really mismanaged my money in this game. I wanted to do a hard reset after Zora, but then I remembered that I got the Moon Pearl at Waterfall Cave. So that just wasn't an option for me. But yeah, the Zora money kind of hurt. It really affected my Dark World routing. But I'm thinking about the flute location. That was a comment I wanted to make. I think the only thing I really missed out on was the full clear of Ice Palace. If I had flute, then Quake would have been my go mode. So maybe I should have done Smith Sequence before Crystal Ice Palace, but generally I like to do crystals before I do overworld checks. So it's unfortunate, but I don't know that I'm really too salty about that one. But yeah, if you avoid Thieves Town and then you go mode Ice Palace, I can definitely see finishing 10 minutes ahead of me.
I mean, you gotta feel good with a race this size, finishing 4th place.
Yeah, I mean it does. Unfortunately, there were 10 forfeits, I think. But yeah, it feels good.
And I think the question that is on everyone's mind after watching you run that race is, what does P stand for in P Train?
Okay, so there is a story behind my name. It makes absolutely no sense, but I'm happy to share it. When I was in college, there was a song that came out called "Pain Train Handlebars," which I think has some kind of dance associated with it, and my real life name starts with a P, so people just started calling me P-Train, and it stuck. And I don't mind it, because out of all the nicknames people can randomly give you, P-Train is a pretty solid one, Nothing embarrassing behind it, so that's
so we
good.
We got cool nickname, college educated, and you can hover. P-Train, you're my hero.
I think the best guess we had in chat was Party Train. So that's close.
No, I usually joke that it stands for PRNG train.
Lovely.
That's usually my go-to joke.
So all three of our runners are now in go mode. Death King being the first to pick up the Quake Medallion from Pyramid Fairy and finishing up Vitreous now. The other two closely behind. We've had a lot of finishes, 17 finishes total. But again, this race has 64 entrants, I believe.
Let's see, 64, yes.
Yeah, less than half of our runners are going to be finishing sub 2 this round.
And there's some like really good runners still left in the field. I think it was just mean in the fact that the way the logic set everything up wasn't like you get this item, and then you go to this area, and then you get this item, and you go to this area. Like you had to get the seed wanted you to get the hammer out of Pod, to get the cape out of Thieves Town, to get the hook shot out of Spike Cave. Like the logic is just mean.
Yeah, I feel like the big deciding factor for a lot of our finishers is going to be like who hates the flipper dungeons the most.
Well, anytime hammer is in Pod, to me that is one of the more trolly placements. I mean, of course, you know the ultimate troll being hammer and swamp, but that never happens. Hammer in Thieves Town can be bad, but hammer and Pod is usually rough. At least the game did give you an early bow.
For some of our runners, it did. But if you think about like, okay, so Swamp was empty, TR was empty, Mire was empty, Ice Palace was empty, Skullwoods at the boots. Swamp was empty, Eastern was empty. That's a lot of dungeons that had no progression items at all. And Thieves Town had, Cape, but
yeah, I was worried about Eastern because I skipped the anti-fairy chest. And I was really hoping that would come back to bite me.
Yeah, so it was really.
That's one reason. That was one reason why I went so hard farming the Zora bunny, because I had already put off the Eastern Palace chest, which was, I think, one of 5 available locations to me at that point, counting the Zora area. So I was like, I just can't skip Zora. Zora has my progression. Like, I'm not going back to Eastern, and I don't want to farm money and have to go back, do a walk of shame, like back to Zora. So.
You did also skip the tablet up on Death Mountain before you.
That was a mistake. That was a complete oversight. I realized that when I walked over to Bombos. But the early game route worked out for me pretty nicely here because I've recently started committing to Agena early. So usually what I'll do is dam Agena and then go back for Mini Moldorm and Ice Rod Cave. But what I've found is like there are a number of races where eventually I have a book in Mini Moldorm Cave where I get the shovel, and when that happens, like you have nothing to route it in. So I've started just foregoing the dam and Agena, going straight to Mini Moldorm and Ice Rod Cave and doing those checks instead. So I do Mini Moldorm, Ice Rod Cave, and I'll usually fake Flipper to Hobo. Then I'll save and quit, and then I'll do Dam to Agena. So if you happen to find the book or a shovel, you can route it in with, that side of South Shore. And that worked out for me really nicely this season. It's not often that it pays off that well, but yeah, it definitely gave me an early boost.
Yeah, I feel like the expected value for an early Agena check is a time loss. But when it's a time gain, it's huge.
Yeah.
So
I guess what
go ahead.
I'm so sorry. I appreciate the restream and all that, but I do have to step away. Thank you very much for calming, restream, trackers. I appreciate all of it. GG's to my opponents when they finish the race.
Have a good night, P-Train.
You too.
So Death King about to get their big key here. Jetters almost to the Dark World, and Chloe just about to enter GT. So not super close, but a decent race between the three of them here.
Yeah, it just really goes to show the difference in how big of a difference that hover made for all their routings.
Yeah, I mean they all just last locationed basically the Ice Rod and Quake Medallion. So
it makes sense though, right? Like it's
100%.
It's not like they made huge mistakes or anything. All they did was just not hover.
Yeah.
Very few people have the consistency with hovering that someone like P-Train has. And we even saw P-Train fall with the hover twice.
Right. It's always funny when you hover something like Hookshot Cave and then miss the mini Moldarm or the Moldarm 2 hover. Yeah, I kick myself when that happens. Alright, Death King 2 about to enter the gauntlet. Chloe gonna pick up Tempered Sword. Jetters gets the key. Let's see if they head right. And they mirror out, so well, are they gonna mirror out? Yep. So it looks like Jetters actually gonna miss out on the Tempered Sword here.
Yeah, I don't know what the over-under is on Tempered Sword saving time here, but Compass Room does take quite a bit of time. My head says probably time saved to grab the Tempered Sword.
Yeah, I think so, especially with Ganon.
I guess it really just comes down to like how comfortable you are with the Master Sword
Yeah.
fight. They do have the cape though, which makes that significantly easier.
Yeah, but I mean, if you ask any runner, I think if you ask any runner, which, do Compass Room and get Tempered or Master Sword Ganon, I think most of them would just want to have that Tempered Sword.
Oh yeah, definitely. Nobody wants to do Master Sword Ganon.
And just like that, Death King is through the gauntlet onto Landmo 2.
Doing about as well as P-Train did.
Yeah. Looks like it'll be about a 3-cycle Landmo 2. Excuse me, 4-cycle. Gets to save with that spin there.
So we see Jetters. Jetters got the big key, but he's continuing on to Random Room. He wants that Tempered Sword so bad.
Yeah, that's unfortunate. I mean, it could be here.
Yeah, I think we don't have any information on where that fourth sword is.
And there it is.
Nice.
Two swords in GT. Jetter's now making the climb with that Tempered Sword in hand. Other three runners do have the lamp. It looks like Death King's gonna need it as a waste a few shots trying to light those torches.
Yeah, I'm not sure what was happening there. Just trying to light it without picking up the pot, I guess. Jetter's doing a mimic clip to get rid of these mimics.
It's a
purely for the fun of it.
Mode. Yeah, just in meme mode now. And that was actually a pretty fast mimic clip.
He's going for the second one.
there's one. And there's two.
Bye, mimics.
It's like the humane way of... Oh, they're back.
It kills them anyway.
I was going to say it was like the humane way of dealing with the mimics. Like they're like animals. You're not trying to have to put them out of their misery. They're just sort of doing what they naturally do. But no. Get in my way for too long and an arrow to your face. Death King having a little bit of trouble here getting through this room. Many Helmas able to manage to squeeze by. And let's see if he can get a quick Aga 2 here. One hit. Four more to go here. Gets a nice double. It's bullet a bit there, but only needs one more shot. There we go.
God, what a rough seed.
It really was. Like, our runners had a couple unfortunate deaths, and Chloe had trouble finding the gloves by accidentally skipping Blind's hut, and a couple unfortunate deaths. Death King took a death to Blind early, so some of the play could have been cleaned up a little bit, but for the most part, our runners played it really well.
I wish I had been in this race. Cause like with the way I usually play the game, I usually fare better the trollier a seat is.
Sure.
I don't think I would have beat P-Train though.
Yeah. I just wanted to play it because ever since I learned to hover, I haven't had a seed where hovering has ever benefited me at all. So.
Yeah, they're pretty few and far between.
Every time I go up to the Dark Death Mountain without the hook shot and with the boots to check Hookshot Cave, I get rewarded with 20 rupees, 10 arrows, and a piece of heart. Alright, so on to phase 3 for Death King here. Chloe getting bullied a little bit there by Moldorm. And Jetter's not too far behind, finishing up the lamp lighting here. Gonna do it for phase 3. Again, it asks about the silver arrows. Put one in him. Gets the torch glitch. Misses the shot there. And takes an unfortunate death again. That's a little rough.
Yeah, he was playing a little too aggressively. Swiped it just a little bit before Ganon was actually vulnerable.
Yeah.
Very bailing him out though.
Alright, let's try this again. Have a couple arrows. Down Ganon goes. Get your GGs in chat for Death King. And he crosses the bridge. He finishes. Puts the dot down in. And Death King finishes in 27th place. That time of 2 hours, 14 minutes, 9 seconds. Still the top half of the race here.
Yeah, 214 giving you still top 50%. Just really goes to show how completely horrible this seed has been for most of our runners.
And Jetter's actually making up some time here. And it looks like you're joined by Death King. GG's, my friend. How you doing?
GG's. Oh, god damn it. This seed was...
Pretty bad, yeah.
Definitely. And my play today wasn't really helping much.
So, what was your least favorite part? The hook shot? The bow?
Well, the bow was okay, at least when I finally got there. But the hook shots, which needed the cape in Thieves Town. Oh, god damn it, this moment I thought, alright, last place. Somehow...
And how about that ice rod, huh?
Yeah.
Oh, you still finished top 50%.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
somebody else just as bad, if not worse, time than you did.
Yeah, but it's so long ago that I needed more than 2 hours for a normal seed. So no cross keys or anything else like that. No, that was just straight crap that I played.
Well, I mean, you're being critical of your play. We watched this whole thing. We don't feel like you actually did, all that bad. The seed was just pretty rough. And if you don't make the right decisions, you go to the right spots, then I mean, if you look at all the finishes again, like top 30, and there's still good runners that are finishing with over 2 hours. You don't see an open seed like this very often where it trolls you as much as it did. So don't be too down on yourself. You did well, and we enjoyed your play. You're actually the first runner on our restream to get those boots. Your play right into Swamp Palace. I mean, I think you had boots at like 12 minutes in.
Yeah, they were quite fast. Also, I did make the right decision to go out of Skywoods, but then again, I need to go in there to check. Isn't anything else? Oh.
Yeah, that is frustrating. And we did have finished from our two other runners, Chloe Prower and Jetters. Let's see if we got times. Chloe finished in 34th place with a 2:16.56, and Jetters in 35th place with 2:17.26. So GG's to them.
GG.
And it looks like we are joined now by who joined us? Chloe.
Hi.
Welcome.
That was painful. It's just. It just comes to a point where it's not even bad gambles anymore. It's just you're playing bad.
So the blind tut thing for you, that was just a mistake, right? Like you just forgot about.
Total mistake because my routing got all messed up because I didn't have early bomb. So I'm just like, go do well and then blind tut. And then I'm like, I did well, so let's leave.
Yeah, so that cost you some time, and then you, of course, had to farm up some rupees for Zora, which got you nothing as well. It cost you a bit of time. We're also joined by Jetters. GG's to you.
GG.
Nice mimic clips to you.
Yeah, I was fed up with these seeds, so I had to do some memes.
I think we really enjoyed the mimic clip, the second mimic clip, and then killing them in the next room. That was always fun.
Yeah, I realized I could pull them out of the wall at one point, and then I felt like this was a good time to show that off.
We did enjoy it. So I guess we'll just ask both the three of you. How you feeling about that? I know you're not stoked, but the seed was mean, and put some items in some pretty mean locations, and put the logic to get a lot of these items was rather mean as well. Any thoughts on performance or the seed or anything in general?
Well, for me, I dug myself a real big hole in the early game. I went the wrong way and then started doing dumb plays to try to make up for it, and I kept digging that hole of, hey, maybe the next dumb play will pay off. Yeah, no. But then mid-seed, I found like a ton of stuff after I got the hammer out of pod with and so I felt kind of good after that. But then it slowed down again. I'm like, well, yeah, everybody's gonna hundo this seed. All the items are like hidden. You got like, I don't know, 5 items that were probably hidden deep within some dumb location.
Yeah, I dragged the hammer out of the pod. I felt like that was like gonna help catch me up a little, so I ended up following that hammer pretty hard. And I mean, the only thing I didn't follow it to was Thieves Town, so it took me forever to get the cape, and then forever to get the Spike Cave. It's just, you know, how many people pulled Ped this seed?
Yeah, at least Hammer was bow locked, so I knew bow could only be in a few locations that I hadn't checked. But I also was like trying to figure out, well, bow is probably in some dumb location or in the back of Thieves Town. So I just kind of did some hammer stuff with that in the back of my mind that I need to get back to that bow or hookshot. It could have been hookshot as well because there was a bunch of stuff on East Death Mountain that you could have got with the hookshot.
Yeah, that I got the bow early because I don't know if they mentioned it, but I skipped Blind's Hut at the start, so I didn't have my second glove until like 23 minutes in when I finally remembered that, hey, I never actually did this. So I ended up clearing out Eastern like 15 minutes in, just because I had the bow and the fire rod was fairly easy.
Nice
so
skip.
I feel like that didn't lose me like a ton of time because Eastern was empty, and everyone had to do it anyways. But like I had to farm some Zora money too, and then I got the Zora and he dropped a $5, and I'm like, okay, what did I screw up?
Yeah. I don't know a reasonable route that you could take to really avoid hundoing the seed.
You have to go to Pod to get the hammer, then back to Thieves Town to get the cape, because the cape was hard required to get the hookshot.
Yeah.
Or use like one of your bottles, I suppose. But yeah,
we only had one bottle.
Yeah.
2 of them were in Ganon's Tower. One of them was on Lumberjack.
Aga. Yeah.
So it was just whatever.
Yeah, Peter was able to hover a hookshot cave and get the ice rod, so he only dipped TR once.
See, that was the play right there.
The real big thing to that wasn't even the avoiding the double dip of TR, but it's when you kill Trinex, it puts you back on top of the mountain. So Spike Cave wasn't out of the way for him to do after TR. So the hover was like doubly useful in that case, getting the ice rod and then also making it really easy to make your way to the hookshot.
Yeah, because if you hovered that, you would have gotten Burna, and you would have been able to avoid Thieves Town completely if you wanted to.
I see that everybody on Restream has the Tempered Sword. Was there one on right side, or did everybody just defy the seed and say, no, I'm going to find this Tempered Sword?
There's one in Compass Room and in Rando Room.
Okay, because yeah, I went past the big key and found it in Rando Room, so...
Yeah, we noticed. We definitely noticed that as well.
I was like, I know there's a sword here somewhere. I'm not leaving without Tempered. If this seed is going to force me to hundo, I'm getting my Tempered Sword.
Yeah, there was just one in... Yeah.
I think after 2 hours, I wouldn't do Ganon without Tempered Sword too. That would just be too annoying for a finish.
Yeah, for sure. Well, any last closing thoughts before we close up shop here to any of our runners?
Thanks again for having me, and thanks to all the trackers and commentators, even though this was absolutely terrible. I bet the chat still enjoyed it though.
Oh, we had fun. We definitely had fun.
Chat got a ped pull, so that's always good in chats.
Yeah, we know chat likes pain.
yeah, but thanks for putting on a restream, and it was kind of a fun seed in a way.
Yeah, thanks everyone.
All right, so that's going to do it for us here at Speed Gaming. Make sure you follow the Speed Gaming channel, Speed Gaming 2 through 6, to catch all of the race action. We've got lots of link to the past. We've got daily races Sunday through Friday, the 2 p.m. and 9 p.m. Eastern races Monday through Friday, and of course the open weekly at 5:30 on Sundays, which you just finished watching. Make sure you check those out. And again, there's so many different games out there and so much fun to watch. So make sure you are following the channels and throw a sub their way as well to help keep the lights on and these races going. So, Koi, it's always a pleasure to do comms with you. Thanks for doing that today.
No problem, man. I'm happy to do comms with you as well.
Big shout outs to our trackers as well, Demensive and Nelson and Alex, for helping keep everything straight, because we were having too much fun and not able to watch all the races. Again, we're not here to watch, we're just here to talk. So that's going to do it for us here today. Thank you all so much for hanging out with us, and we'll see you all another time. Happy
Bye,
random.
everybody.